Wagwan everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to Tereak Talks, to another Premier League preview show. Guys, I hope you are doing well. I hope you've had a fantastic week as it is Friday. Towards the end of the week, you guys know the tradition over here on Tereak Talks. We look ahead to the Premier League games, the Premier League fixtures, and you will do that with myself, and you guys will give me your predictions in the comment section or in the live chat of the stream if you are watching. I really do appreciate you for clicking onto this video and giving it a watch and just listening to my voice right now and listening to me ramble on, talk about football when I think in an educational way or in a knowledgeable way, shall I say, not educational, because come on, it's football. You can learn a lot through football, you can learn a lot through sport, but you guys who are watching are football enthusiasts like myself, so you will have your own opinions, and this is what we like to do here: share opinions about the game, the beautiful game that we love. And it's not just about Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, although you might not believe it with the light blue that I'm wearing there on today's show, especially with Liverpool, Man City in the title. Trust me, I'm not supporting them. Let me try and get the hint of red that you can see there. And I'm not supporting Liverpool either. We'll get into it, but you know what I mean. But guys, I hope we all had a fantastic week, and thank you for joining me, as I did say once again. Let me just pick up everyone here in the chat right now, because it has been a while. I wasn't here for you guys last week. I do apologise. I didn't have the time to get the pre-record done in the end, and it's not even really to do with the activities I got. It was me, lack of planning, being disorganised. But I am here for you guys, and let's hope to make it a treat for you, make it worth it indeed, because we've got a big fixture, Liverpool versus Manchester City. Doesn't really get much better than that until the next Premier League preview show. Well, it won't be the next one, but the one after that, after the international break, with Manchester City versus Arsenal. We are heading towards the business end of the season, where it is the most interesting, and we do have a real title race on our hands, and we'll be discussing everything, the build up towards this fixture, with the pre-match press conferences from Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, the interviews of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Erling Haaland as well. Plenty to still sort, but I will get into the chat. Big up to yourself, Shay, in the building. Love to see you in here. He says, big up to you. I did amazing last week. I got 9 points. The Arsenal game, Tottenham game, and the Newcastle game indeed. See, you guys, do I even need to calculate? You guys are on top of it. I will show you the up-to-date league table, and Shay, big congratulations on that. You did smash it, and it's a great start to the month. Speaking of months, we still yet to announce the winner of February's Predictor of the Month. I will also announce that later on in the show, as I do towards the end of the show, where I'll show you the predictions table, and I'll show you, the Predictor of the Month and the up-to-date Predictor of the Month too. Appreciate you, Shay, for joining and jumping in. Big up to yourself, Yannick, saying Rasmus the GOAT. Big up to yourself, my brother. He says, hello, nice to see you in here. And with StreamYard, what I like to see now is, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but because Yannick is a moderator on the channel, and we have this nice little spanner here. Good little update from StreamYard there. Big up to themselves. Big up to yourself, my bro. Ends, love to see you in here, my bro. You can go check my myself and Ends out on Endsman TV, we are going to be doing a weekly show where we just discussing the weekend's football from an Arsenal fan. But it's not really from an Arsenal fan. I'm not really there. I do give my thoughts and my own, biases on Arsenal when I speak about that. But we speak about all other things football, literally in the Premier League. We talk about Liverpool, but I'll give my outsider's view, and the same goes for Ends when he's talking about Arsenal from his outsider's view, as neutral as we can be at this time in the season, with both teams looking and fighting for this Premier League title. But we also discuss all things in La Liga and in the Bundesliga. We didn't touch upon Serie A last time, but we will touch upon more. Big up to yourself, my bro. Ends. We'll be on a stream, but I'm here till then. Big up to yourself, my bro. Thank you for tuning in. Big up to Mr. 200 saying good evening, Tereak, and good evening all. Big up to yourself. I hope you've had a fantastic week, Mr. 200. Paxton, Discord still not revived. You are true, and it's right. I haven't done my efforts in doing that yet, but I will be. You're holding me to it, and I love that you're keeping me on there, Pack. So big up to yourself. Shay's chasing like the Terminator. He is indeed. Shay did have a fantastic month, and if he continues like that, well, we could be talking about March's predictor of the month. Going to be a great show. That exactly. Yeah, it will be a great show. We've got plenty of content coming on Tereak Talks here too, but we are here to discuss the Premier League preview show. So guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure, can I get it to come up? Make sure you smash that like button. It did come up as well. Make sure you get in the comments, leave your predictions in there, subscribe if you're new, and don't forget, you're more than welcome to tell a friend so we can get more people within the Tereak Talks community, as we are on the road to 800 subscribers. I do need to pick up myself in terms of bringing more content to you all, and I need you guys to hold me to that as well, guys. Like, drop me a message on Discord. You've got me in the socials, links are all in the description, and the link to the Discord if you haven't joined in yet. Keep me on it as well, because I'm making this week I've made a real vow. I'm gonna make sure to get so much more done with the channel, revive it. Once upon a time that we used to do content on here regularly, watch-alongs or food-along, shall we call it. We used to have great times and great memories that we shared here, watching football together here in the chat and with guests on the streams too. And that's another thing I'm trying to do, get more guests upon the channel. I know it's called Tereak Talks, but you guys will be sick of me, just me anyway, just speaking all the time. So yeah, it'd be great to have different views, different opinions, and different clubs involved, fans of different clubs involved in here as well. But I'll speak more about that at the end. If you guys have got any questions, make sure you chuck them into the chat. But we're here for the Premier League prediction show, and if you guys aren't familiar with what this show is and what we do, you guys can also be involved by entering your predictions in the comment section at the end of this video. But yes, they must be entered before the first fixture of the game week. So what do we have here? Man United versus Everton is the first fixture of the game week in the Premier League this weekend. So if you guys will want to be entered, you need to put your Man United versus Everton prediction before the kickoff, before that game kicks off at 12:30 here in the UK, whichever time it is for you. Make sure you get that in there. You will get 3 points for a correct score, 1 point for a correct result. So let's say, for example, the big one this weekend, Liverpool versus Manchester City. If you predict a 2-1 Liverpool win, and Liverpool win by 2-1, you will get 3 points. But if you predict a 2-1 Liverpool win and they win 1-0 or 3-1 or 3-2, whatever, but that means you get the correct result, you will get a 1 point for that. However, if you predict a Liverpool 2-1 win and they draw, or Manchester City win, you will get 0 points. Hope that's clear. If you guys do have any questions, let me know in the chat. I feel like I do explain this quite well when I do this, because you guys haven't asked any questions yet, or not that I've seen. Just to let you know, for those who who enter the predictions league, even if you're thinking, oh, it's a bit too late now, we're well over we're towards the end of the season, guys, we still have predictor of the month, where each month there will be a winner. Whoever gets the most points within that month will be having a chance of being the predictor of the month. So guys, make sure you do get your predictions in there. We've just kick-started the month, but there's still plenty more fixtures to play for. So guys, make sure you do get that into the chat. Next week's going to be a bit of an interesting one because it's FA Cup weekend here too. So I might do a mix and match. So FA Cup Premier League weekend preview show. We'll have to wait and see how I'll sort that out. But here we go. Let's discuss before I do. Let's see what you're saying in the chat. Mr. 200 says, need to get Wilf back on 110%. I actually spoke to Wilf, Mr. 200. If you guys don't know, Creambone66 or otherwise, or his real name in Trevor. But I've actually spoke to Wilf in the other day. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And yeah, we definitely need to get the Arsenal show back up and running, Mr. 200. Hopefully we could get some more guests involved in that and some top guests, because I know we've had, like, I've been on Harry's channel. It'd be nice to get Tom as well, some other big Arsenal content creators. Let me know who you'd like to see on Mr. 200. I know all the other Arsenal fans, and not just Arsenal fans, because guys, I know we've got Man United fans, Liverpool fans, whoever you support in here. Let me know of your content creator that you would want me to get to speak to. You can put that in the live chat. You can also put that in the comment section if you're watching afterwards. And I will try and connect with them, and I'll try to be able to get them onto the channel. Of course, even if you think they're massive, I'll still try my best. Even if they are difficult to get on because of busy schedules and whatnot, but I'll still try to get them. And listen to Rasmus, guys, in Yannick. I keep saying Rasmus because that's your name on here. But get your snacks ready for the show. We are about to kick off now. After 11 minutes of waffling about an intro and all these other things, yeah, I'm about to start. But Yannick's just put something in and it's caught my eye. I'm eating a Twix right now. Great choice in chocolate. However, they aren't in the chocolate section if you go to the supermarkets, which I find ridiculous. My favourite Twix, though, white chocolate Twix. Very good. Very sweet. You can't have them too often, because it's not healthy for you to eat too many Twixes anyway, but they're not very good in terms of your teeth. I feel like they can hurt your teeth if you have too many of them. The waffles are free, exactly. So guys, if you want to listen to more waffle, hit the like button. But we're going to get into it now as we look ahead to this fixture. Liverpool versus Manchester City at Anfield on Sunday, a 3:45 kickoff, a strange time. I looked into the reasoning for this, and it's because of policing. That is the issue. It's because of policing, and with it being Mother's Day, so they're trying to put it in early, so that they can get enough police there for the time. Enough police in there and to kind of manage the crowd, so there's not too much time for the Liverpool or Manchester City fans to cause problems with the amount of drinking they have. I think the last part is a bit ridiculous in terms of it for drinking, because it's not even an hour difference. Usually we get a 4:30 kickoff for this type of fixture on a Sunday, but it's 3:45, so it's literally 45 minutes difference. But hey ho, it doesn't matter, and I will be watching it. I am going out for a meal on Mother's Day here in the UK, and happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there and single fathers, because you do play both roles. And I say the same on Father's Day for those who are fathers and who are single mothers, because they play both roles too. But happy Mother's Day coming up for those mothers here in Sunday if you do celebrate it. And I think it's different in America, Mother's Day, to the one in the UK. Or is it Father's Day? I don't know. But so we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss Liverpool versus Manchester City, the huge fixture, which has had some needle. And I'd say for the first time, guys, it is beginning to have some needle in there, because what we know from this fixture between Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola and Liverpool and Manchester City fans, it's quite friendly. In terms of how both fans appreciate it. They're like, you're such a great team, Liverpool. No, Man City, you're such a great team. We've had a great battle going on. But now Trent Alexander-Arnold, I would say, has kick-started this by saying and speaking about the trophies that Liverpool won, the Premier League title that they won, means more than the ones that Manchester City have won. And I get where he's coming from. I'm I don't actually think he's wrong in per se in saying that, but you can't say to a Manchester City fan that means more, because that's going to mean it's going to mean the world to them. Every single trophy, the treble, the first Champions League that they won, it means a lot. But I hear where he's coming from because of the finances, the history, the finances behind Manchester City, and it kind of felt inevitable that was going to happen. The story involved with Liverpool, the narrative, it is quite an emotional, and it is quite a rise, a phoenix rising out of the ashes type of story for Liverpool. So I hear it, but at the end of the day, it is still going to mean a lot for Manchester City fans, and their story is, as fans, is amazing themselves, because I've seen you guys in the chat talking about paprika Pringles. I love it. But the story between for Manchester City fans from watching their team down in the lower divisions, it wasn't even a conceivable dream for them to be winning a trophy once upon a time. That would have been amazing for them, but a top major trophy, and to be where they're at now, they're really living it and they're lapping it up, and the story that they've had as fans has been amazing. But again, with so much controversy surrounding the club, with the charges going into it, with the what happened within the UEFA a few years ago with financial fair play and them dodging that and all sorts surrounding it, and it is a bit, Man City aren't seen as in that same light, and they've probably thrived off of that, having that siege mentality, the Citizens. But Haaland came back, clapped back to Trent and said, well, he wouldn't know about what winning a treble is like. He wouldn't have experienced mine, so how can he talk about meaning more? And then there was posing the question to Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp agreed and backed his player, as you expect him to, as I'd expect my manager to. If one of my players, Arsenal players, came out and said that, I'd expect Arteta to back him. And then they asked the question to Pep Guardiola, and he just kept repeating. Whenever they asked questions, I think there was 2 questions they asked him. What was his thoughts on the Trent Alexander-Arnold's comments on that? And he just said, I hope that Trent gets well soon and recovers and gets back on the pitch. And then someone else asked him, aren't you a bit sick, Pep, about what these questions and the finances always being brought up for Manchester City's success? He literally just said, I hope that Trent Alexander-Arnold gets back on the pitch and gets back soon. There's also been other comments that that came out from Pep Guardiola speaking about Liverpool need to win a game in more than 90 minutes where Arsenal can win it in 25. Little jibes, little digs that we haven't always seen in this matchup. And this is exactly what we want to see. And this is the off-the-pitch battle that we've not really seen, and the games behind it. And I'm loving it at the moment. Manchester City aren't staying in Liverpool because they don't want no tomfoolery, as it was written, with, what we've seen with Liverpool and Everton fans in the past, playing, releasing fireworks in the middle of the night, trying to keep their opponents awake and trying to really disrupt them in any way possible. They're trying to be cautious and with all of that. So that is so interesting for me to hear. And guys, I'm really looking forward to this game. And now let's talk about the battle on the pitch. Let's talk about the injury news for both teams, because the big one for Liverpool is Mohamed Salah is available for this game. Will he start? That is the big question. He got 25 minutes. He got 20 to actually less than that. It was I said 25, all the way down to about 15, just between 20 to 15 minutes involved in the game last night. Scored a goal which was disallowed, and wrongfully disallowed, in fact, in Liverpool's 5-1 win against Sparta Prague. But he got some minutes in the tank after that hamstring injury. He played against Brentford. He suffered. It kind of reoccurred again, and he missed the subsequent games after that, but he's back and fit for this one, and Liverpool have made sure he would be available for this big one right here because they've had to manage a few injuries this season. Trent, I know he came back and now he's out and he's not going to be available for this game, as well as Alisson, due to recurring injuries that they sustained. Szoboszlai, who's done the same there, but he's also available after he came back last week from that game against Nottingham Forest. But there is some doubts going into it. And one is Joe Gomez, who was taken off at half-time. He will be assessed after coming off against Prague at half-time. But the big one is Ibrahima Konate, because they do not have Joel Matip available, who picked up an injury earlier in the season, which ruled him out for the rest of this one. And that is most likely going to be the end of his Liverpool career. He has come in and he has been outstanding. It's hard. You can't say. Yeah, he's been one of the best defenders this season. I'd say you throw him up there with one of the best defenders with the Arsenal duo, but you'd probably say his captain and the guy that plays to the left of him has been better in Virgil van Dijk. I think that's fair to say, because he's been immense and back to the levels that he showed pre-injury, that ACL injury picked up a couple of years back. But if he's not available for this one, that's going to be a huge loss for that defence, which is already weakened, losing Trent, losing Alisson, who are key players. I know Trent, people don't look at him in terms of key for them in defending, but what he does do and the creativity that he possesses and the pressure he releases from his passing ability, and Alisson with his 1v1 presence and how Liverpool defend with such a high line. They do allow chances in behind, but they trust him to be there. Keller has done a fantastic job, don't get me wrong, he's been brilliant, and hats off to the lad, not literally because I can't do that, I've got headphones on, but hats off to Caoimhin Kelleher because he has been outstanding. However, in a game of this magnitude, against the quality, there's question marks surrounding. Can he cope with that, guys? Can he cope with that pressure? Can he cope? Can he stand up to when Erling Haaland is going to be arriving 1v1? Can he make those big saves? We've seen him do it against Anthony Elanga. We've seen him do it against Conor Gallagher. But in this fixture, with the quality that they have in store, the set pieces, can he control that? Can he stop them? Because what we saw in the reverse fixture, in Liverpool versus Manchester City, there was that controversial goal that was ruled out on Alisson from Akanji, I believe. And Liverpool fans were saying, yeah, that's definitely a foul. But for me, I wasn't too sure. I didn't really see too much in it. But I guess the referees called it. VAR's never going to overturn it. It is what it is. That's what I would look at it if it was against Arsenal. If he doesn't overrule it, I don't think VAR looks back at it and says, no goal. But because he said it was a foul initially, VAR's not going to look back at it and say, there's no foul. It has to be a clear and obvious error. You know how it is already. But we're not talking about referees here. I don't even know the referee of this game, but I'm sure Liverpool Man City fans do. But potentially no Konate will be a huge loss. No Gomez would be as well, but you'd think that Liverpool have the cover with Connor Bradley, Andy Robertson back now, here and available. So yeah, I don't think it is at that bad. It's not as bad as it would be if Ibrahima Konate was out. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the chat about that. But with Manchester City, I haven't really spoken too much about the Citizens. I gave a long little monologue there about Liverpool. But with Manchester City, they won in midweek. They made 7 changes. In fact, Kevin De Bruyne didn't start. Erling Haaland came off early-ish into the game after he scored his goal. But Phil Foden suffered a dead leg in that game against Manchester United, which he was outstanding in with the 2 goals that he scored. And you can almost say single-handedly won Manchester City that game, which looked to be difficult in terms of them in certain moments. And it's difficult to say because Man United started that game on fire and they looked like they could have scored 1 or 2 goals after they did, but didn't take those chances. And then the onslaught came from Manchester City. They missed clear-cut chances themselves, but then following that, they didn't really create too much until Phil Foden pulled one out of the bag, and that was fantastic from the Stockport Iniesta, they call him. But The bad news is Jack Grealish will be out, and there has been a bit of uncertainty around Jeremy Doku for the Citizens. And yeah, that'll pose Pep Guardiola a question. If Jeremy Doku is fit, I'm sure he'll be out there on the left, and Foden will continue his fine form from that right wing position, drifting inside, having that license to roam as him and Bernardo Silva kind of interchange a little bit, and Kevin De Bruyne. Let's not forget about him, of course, with his quality and his ability to just roam in any area of the pitch and cause problems with his passing, with his shooting, with his link-up play, with a lot that Kevin De Bruyne can do, and Phil Foden and Bernardo putting it on a plate for Erling Haaland. This is an enticing game, guys. I've spent almost 15 minutes, 15 minutes speaking about it. But guys, now it's time to get into my prediction and how I think this game is going to go. Before I do that, let me say, can you smash that like button if you haven't done so already? Subscribe if you're new. But what I would want as an Arsenal fan, ideally I want to draw, because Arsenal, if they win their game against Brentford, which we'll look at after this, Arsenal win their game against Brentford, Arsenal go top of the league. But if I had to pick a team that I want, that the draw's not a question. Yeah, one team has to win. I'm picking Liverpool as an Arsenal fan. The reason being, I just feel that if Manchester City win now and win away at Anfield, that will give them the confidence. It will kickstart them in terms of their belief and, okay, we're here. I'm not saying it wouldn't do the same for Liverpool, but Manchester City, okay, now we're ahead of Liverpool. We've got Arsenal to play at the Etihad, at our home ground. We're about to do what we normally do. We're going to kickstart and we're going to go on our fine run where we are going to be impossible to catch. And by the time we drop points, it will be too late, essentially. Whereas with Liverpool, they win, I'm sure they'll believe and they'll think, this is it, we're going to do it now, guys. But they have a tougher running than Manchester City do. And I think with Liverpool balancing 3 competitions in the Europa League, I know Man City are balancing 3 as well, Premier League, Champions League, and the FA Cup. But with Liverpool, the Thursday-Sunday factor could become more of a problem later into the Europa League, where they will face a tougher opposition, let's say. And I'm not sure how tougher it might be, because I fully expect Liverpool to win that, and there aren't too many teams of top quality in the Europa League, but we know how Europe can be. I think that will take a little bit more out of them than it would from Manchester City, even though that's crazy to say, but the Wednesday-Sunday factor compared to a Thursday-Sunday, there is quite a big difference. And yeah, that's my feeling. As an Arsenal fan, I'd rather Liverpool to win. They're more likely to drop points. They've got tougher fixtures than Manchester City. They also have more, the less rest between those games. They are struggling with injuries at the moment. And some of these injuries that they've picked up, like Mohamed Salah being available, yeah, great. I'm not sure if he's going to be fully fit after these muscular hamstring injuries. We know how they can be. Konate, Gomez, how fit are they going to be? Even when Trent and Alisson return, how fit are they going to be? Because these are recurring injuries, and once you pick, and just from my little bit of knowledge and expertise within sports science and injuries, is once they've recurred, you're more likely to do it again. It's like dislocating your shoulder. If you dislocate your shoulder once, you've increased your likelihood of it happening again. And then if you do it again, the next time it's even more likely, etc., etc. So yeah, they have got a few injuries at the moment, whereas Manchester City don't have anywhere near as much as Liverpool. So I just think that could hinder them more. But my prediction, guys, and how I think the game is going to go, long story short, Liverpool 2, Manchester City 2. I just see both teams cancelling each other out. One, with Liverpool being at home, I can't see them losing Anfield. in this type of occasion, in Klopp's last season, with how the atmosphere has been, the mentality of this Liverpool team to dig in, grind when the going gets tough. It doesn't matter if Manchester City score the first goal; they will just stay in there as long as the game doesn't escape them and it doesn't go to 3-0 or those types of score lines. Liverpool will still be involved and still be in there, and their crowd will give them that extra boost. And Liverpool, I heard Gary Neville say it in the overlap, they can have moments, periods in games of 5 to 10 minutes where they can take the game from you and they can go and win it themselves. I just think that's what I can't go for a Liverpool win, because I think Manchester City are very experienced in themselves in riding out those storms and dealing with the Anfield occasion and the Anfield atmosphere. They've suffered from it. They've been battered in the Champions League, in the Premier League, and occasions as well, where they've felt the Anfield storm, shall we say? But I just think both teams will cancel each other out. Liverpool strong going forward, so are Manchester City, but I see vulnerabilities defensively from both sides. Liverpool do let up some chances, that's just how they play anyway, but with Manchester City, people will say they do let up opportunities, but they've been letting up opportunities more frequently. If Manchester United were a better team going forward, they could have scored more and created even more. I've seen Chelsea rock up to the Etihad. They've gone and done it. When Manchester City play away from home, I've seen Brentford being at their community G-Tech Stadium, and they've created chances upon them. And I just think the quality that Liverpool have, the momentum that they've currently got on their side, they're not losing this game. But I also believe the experience, the know-how from Manchester City, the quality that they have in the final third is going to cancel Liverpool out too. So I can't go for anything other than a 2-2 draw, which is a common scoreline between these two sides, by the way. We've seen plenty of them, and I just can't look past it. If there is going to be a winner, I can't look past Liverpool. Liverpool at home, I can't do it. I can't look past Liverpool. They are at home, but I've gone for a draw. Let me see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat right now. So we've got Shay, who's also gone for the same as me in a Man City 2, Liverpool 2 on this draw, for the draw here. Yep, Liverpool, he's gone for that. Paxton's gone with his heart over his head, and he said a 5-0 Manchester City win. Could you imagine if that happened, Pax? That would be crazy. I think that would be the title. That would be the title race wrapped up, unless Arsenal have something to say about that. But yeah, I'm ready for my crazy prediction. I don't think that's crazy though. I don't think that's crazy, Shay, that prediction. I really don't. I think that's serious. I think that's a unless I'm crazy for going with you. But friendly rivals, yeah, Paxton, it did make me sick. It was sickening seeing them hug each other, especially me, Pax. You're a Man United fan. You'd have grown up on watching Man United towards, because I know I'm guessing we're around about a similar age, but you'd have seen the end of the rivalry between Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. You'd have at least seen that and would have been educated upon that, or educated yourself upon that, and even seen the rivalry between Jose Mourinho and Alex Ferguson and all of that. And you'd have properly seen that rivalry, where even Rafa Benitez and Alex Ferguson, then Klopp and Pep doing what they're doing, the love fest. That's not what we want. That's not pure Barclays. Do you know what I mean? That's not what we watch the Premier League for. Yannick says, good game to watch as the neutrals. Let's hope for lots of goals. I don't think we're going to be deprived of that. Mainly because both teams aren't at the best defensively anymore. I think if you was going to see an Arsenal Liverpool or an Arsenal Man City, it might not be a goal fest because how strong Arsenal are and how tactical those games can be. I think this one's going to be a little bit more open, a little bit more end-to-end. One thing I'll praise Trent for, paprika Pringles and Rioja Chianza. What is that? You have to enlighten me. Put that into the Discord server for me, Mr. 200. I love the paprika Pringles. They are paprika top tier spice. They're amazing. They're up there with the sour cream and onions. But yeah, let me know about the Rioja Chianza. I need to know more about that. Shay's eating red velvet cake. Love to see that. 4-1 Liverpool, says Yannick. He says Liverpool just too good right now. Whereas Mr. 200 has completely disagreed with me. And he said 0-0 Liverpool, Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0, please. I don't even want them keeping a clean sheet. I want them scoring goals, showing more leakiness in that defence for Manchester City especially, showing more Arteta, you can attack this. Well, for when we do go to the Etihad, I mean, I'm sure they're really quite confident that we can get where we can attack and hurt City, but I want to see more fragility. That's what I want to do. Big up to yourself. No, I'd love to see you in here in the chat, my brother. And yeah, Motherwell fan, Mika Bierith, he had him on loan for half a season. Let me know your thoughts on him. And they've also got a wonder kid in Lennon Miller, who's 16, 17. So yeah, big up to yourself. Oh, it's red wine. How is it? And big up to yourself, Casey, in the building. He says, guess who's back? Tell a friend. And Casey has gone for a 3-3 draw. Wow. I'm shouting for a Brentford win this weekend. Of course you are. Of course. We have our own rivalry, Casey versus Tereak. Indeed. And it is red wine. Fair enough. Fair enough. A glass of red. Good. Good to have on a Friday night. Will's favourite as well. Yannick says Liverpool has not lost since they played Arsenal. Exactly. It's a very good point, though, Yannick. They can bounce back from defeats. I've spoke about if Man City won this, it doesn't mean Liverpool are out of it at all. It doesn't mean they're out of it at all. They've shown they can bounce back from some defeats against big sides. They have shown that already this season, so that makes it even more interesting. And I don't think it is a title decider. I know I'll put that in there. I don't think it is, especially because Arsenal are still in the title race. And speaking of the mighty Arsenal, let's get into him right now, as the Arsenal are at home at the Emirates Stadium. And what a team this has been. How many goals? 31 goals in the last 7 games as we beat Sheffield United 6-0 on Monday night. Unbelievable from what I'm seeing from this Arsenal team. I can't put into words how great we have been in the month of February. Well, since the turn of the year, 1 loss, and that came up against Porto and a last-minute winner in the Champions League, and obviously still all to play for. Arsenal, I don't think the players will have one eye on this, but the Arsenal fans have one eye on Porto. But this game is huge. This is huge. Saturday, 5:30, the day before the Liverpool-Man City game. Arsenal have the chance to go top of the Premier League with a win here, and then can sit back, relax, enjoy the Liverpool-Man City game. Whatever outcome happens, we can take positives. Obviously, the ideal outcome for us would be a draw so that we can remain top of the Premier League. But if Arsenal do win this game, as they are expected to, up against a Brentford side that are decimated by injuries, that have been struggling this season because of those injuries as Drew walks into the room, but especially because of the lack of the form that they've been of late. I know they drew against Chelsea in their last game, which is a major plus for them. And yeah, they could have taken the win in the end.
Subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Just like the video. Please subscribe.
Just thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, so a big occasion for Arsenal in this one here. And we do have some team news. So Saka and Martinelli, Saka picked up an injury. An illness, sorry. He was ill during the game, only played 45 minutes against Sheffield United. Grabbed 2 assists, by the way, or 1 assist and contributed to the own goal, however you like to put it. But Martinelli had to come off later in the second half due to a cut on his foot. But Mikel Arteta spoke in the press conference yesterday and said that he's positive about both returning for this game, as Martinelli's injury is only minor and Saka striker is expected to recover from an illness and be available for this one here. Of course, Aaron Ramsdale, he's going to be the goalkeeper for Arsenal as David Raya is ineligible to face his home club. I think that's quite big, by the way. I've got my own thoughts on that. I'm interested to see how Aaron Ramsdale does, because I've been on this channel and other channels speaking about David Raya since the very beginning of the season and talking about why I think he's so important to the Arsenal team and the benefits that he has and what he prevents from a goalkeeping standpoint with his claiming of crosses. So we don't really see him make as many saves as an Aaron Ramsdale, because that right there prevents a situation from happening. How high he starts up from his goal line and the bravery he shows to do that, whereas Aaron Ramsdale has previously spoken about compromise with Mikel Arteta in terms of his positioning because of where he feels comfortable and where he doesn't, whereas David Raya feels comfortable almost anywhere. He's like an outfield player in goal, and you've seen that even with his distribution. However, having said that, I don't think Aaron Ramsdale's distribution is a weakness of his game. It's actually a strength, and it's something that we was quite surprised as Arsenal fans when we was watching him play for us, because we never saw that at Bournemouth, we never saw it at Sheffield United, and it was a surprise in seeing that, and that was a key part of his game. But towards the end, it regressed a little bit. He lost confidence, especially after those key errors that he had against Southampton, for example. So he wasn't as I wouldn't say he's as brave or as confident as he once was when he first came in the Arsenal team. So I think that's going to be a key factor in this game, because we are coming up against Brentford, who do thrive off of set pieces, in corners, free kicks, throw-ins even. So they're going to really put that on top of Aaron Ramsdale with physical players like an Ivan Toney. Nathan Collins is going to be involved there too. Vitaly Janelt. Those players in there, Christian Norgard, that can all cause a threat in the opposition's box. I think it's going to make it an interesting, potentially final game in an Arsenal shirt for Aaron Ramsdale. But yeah, coming in for Raya, I still expect Arsenal to win, just because of how good we've been going forward and how leaky Brentford have been. And the reason that Brentford have been so leaky is because they've not had Ethan Pinnock, they've not had Ben Mee, they've not had Aaron Hickey, they've not had Rico Henry for a lot of periods in this season. They're not going to have them this weekend, as well as Kevin Sade and Josh Da Silva. You know how much I love Josh Da Silva, but he just can't stay fit at the moment. He just can't. Out at the moment, he just can't stay fit anymore. But Brian Mbeumo has returned to training, but he won't be available for this game. So that's a little positive for Arsenal fans right there, as it most likely will be Ivan Toney, Neil Maupay, or Johan Wissa. Not Johan Wissa did score that beautiful overhead kick on the weekend. But yeah, so it's definitely going to be Ivan Toney, but it's all about Ivan Toney and who. And Ivan Toney is someone that I really rate, and those of you who follow me on Twitter, who speak to me on other socials, or see me on other channels, will know how much I do like Ivan Toney. And it does look like Arsenal's interest has called on Ivan Toney. It looks like that we're looking elsewhere. We're going to be looking for a different profile in striker in the market. However, with me and my thoughts, I think Ivan Toney would be a great addition to this Arsenal team. I like, even though people talk about, but his age, no, for me, that's a plus, given that we're still one of the youngest teams in the league. We do have room to have a 28-year-old, 29-year-old. I know he's not 29 yet, but he's going to be 28 on the 16th of March. I think we have room for that experienced type of player, and then having him as a striker with that know-how, physicality, he'd provide a lot for his Arsenal team. And even technically, he's a great facilitator too. He's a bit, and again, I've seen someone call him Chocolate Kane on Twitter. He is you have to liken him a little bit to Kane, dropping deep, spraying passes left and right, can play the balls through the lines and set his teammates through, and in having goal scoring opportunities. That's why he's linked up so well with Brian Mbeumo and Johan Wissa. I think he'd be a good addition for us, but we are coming up against him, and one of the tough opponents the toughest opponents I've seen William Saliba have was Ivan Toney last season. And that was a real learning curve for William Saliba, coming up against someone of his physicality, strength, and his aerial ability. Because I think although Saliba's a tall, big, strong player himself, he's still got a lot to learn, a 22-year-old defender. And I think he did learn a lot from that Ivan Toney experience, shall we say, last year. And I think we'll see an improved performance from William Saliba off the back of that. He's someone who has learned a lot and very quickly in his career. But in terms of prediction that I've gone for in this game, I've still gone for Arsenal to score a few goals, but I've gone for a 3-1 win. I just think with that little bit of instability change with Raya and Ramsdale set pieces, I think that they could cause us a problem and they might be able to nick a goal. So I've just gone, I'm erring on the side of pessimism with that, just in case. And it's not to disrespect Aaron Ramsdale at all or anything like that. I'm just talking about strengths of David Raya and the weaknesses and the areas of improvement, shall we say, of Aaron Ramsdale that can be improved. And I think not being involved, of course, being a second choice keeper, you kind of do need that game to kind of warm up a little bit. I've seen Queven Kelleher have it. He looked poor against Fulham when they conceded 3 goals in that. But yeah, I just think that Aaron Ramsdale, and when we did play Brentford, we let quite a few chances go, and that was without Ivan Toney involved in the team. So yeah, I just think that we could concede because of that. But I think Arsenal will still win handsomely with a 3-1 win to the Arsenal. Let me see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat. Big up everyone that's joined in the last 15-20 minutes or so, and big up everyone that's been here from the very beginning here too. Really appreciate you all. Make sure you don't forget to smash that like button. Is it going to come up again? No, we can't get it second time lucky. But yeah, make sure you do, guys. Love seeing you in here. And let's see your predictions in the chat right now. I've gone for a 3-1 Arsenal win. Shay has gone for a 5-0 Arsenal win. And he thinks that we're going to smash them again, just like how we smashed Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham, Newcastle. The likes of those there. Big up to yourself, Shay. Casey, boo, Man United fan in the chat. He says Arsenal 1, Brentford 2 with Ivan Toney scoring the goals. I know what he's doing, don't you worry. Paxton says a 3-1 Arsenal win, and Ivan, hold this wood, Tone. I knew you had to do that. That's why you've gone for a Brentford goal. You don't think they're going to score really, but you've just done it so you could say that. I hear you, Pax. Casey's gone for 31 goals in 7 games. Drew a blank, and he thinks this is going to happen here. We drew blank against Porto, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe that was the one. Yannick says 15-0 for this one there. Big up to yourself, my brother Brungle. Nice seeing you in here. I hope you're keeping good and well. What time is it actually out there in the east? Big up to yourself, my brother. Love seeing you in here. Shay went 5-1. He's changed it now. If Arsenal hit the dizzy heights of top of the league, they'll look down below them and they'll get dizzy and fall off. He thinks we're going to fall off. Casey does. Let's see what you said here. Bungle's gone for 3-1 to the Arsenal as well. So yeah, we've got a couple 3-1s here in the chat. Interesting to see. Kind of agreeing with me with there in terms of how the game's going to go, and Arsenal going to win, but we're going to concede, which we haven't conceded many of late. I think what's even more impressive than the 3-1 is 3 goals in our last 7 games as well. I think it might be 3 goals in our last 7. Crazy statistics. Arsenal, unfortunately, to win by the odd goal. Casey really believes. Shay's gone for 5-1 again. Mr. 200's gone for 5-2. He thinks this is going to be a goal fest indeed. 2 goals. I would be disappointed if we did concede 2 goals, to be honest with you, Mr. 200. I can't be too disappointed if Arsenal take 3 points in the end. But you know what I mean. It'll be something that we'll be analysing. And I'm hoping to bring back the Arsenal show next week, in fact. So I will try and get in contact with Wilf and then with anyone else that you'd want me to get involved. Guys, as I said at the beginning, if there's any content creators that you love, that you would like to see on the channel, that I'd like, and I mean, there's plenty that I'd like to collaborate with, and I'm open to collaborating with I'm going to say this, I'm going to be honest, sensible people. I only want sensible people on the channel from both sides, and whoever you believe is sensible, let me know. I'll try and contact them, people. Because I trust your judgment. I trust the community that we have here, and you all know sensible people. Because guess what? You are all sensible people, apart from Casey. But I'm only joking, mate. You are as well. I know it's all love. It's 10 to 6 in the morning. Got an early morning meeting, so catching you before that. I really appreciate you, man. I hope this is a great start to your day, especially speaking about the mighty Arsenal. I hope we do enlighten your day, and definitely have to remain positive for that so you can have a fantastic one. Nicholas Jackson wants someone for you to talk to. Hey, none of that. No, I don't want to talk to no Nicholas Jackson thing. No way. Cheeky. I think Casey would. Big up to yourself. Next game, and this is a big one. This easily could have been second, but I had to speak about Arsenal because it's my club. Aston Villa versus Tottenham Hotspur. So with Arsenal, it's crazy what we're witnessing this weekend. This is why it's so important for us to win, because this game kicks off. It is the TV game here in the UK before the Liverpool Manchester City one, and Arsenal are watching the two teams above them fight it out, and the two teams below them fight it out, and one of them being our great rivals in Spurs, and my personal rivals, I'd say, in Aston Villa, just because of growing up in the West Midlands, having a lot of Aston Villa fans try and banter Arsenal fans over the years about European Cups and that, which most of you haven't seen, but you guys who watch the show on a regular basis are probably sick of me saying that and talking about my little rivalry with Aston Villa fans. But I think this is an intriguing fixture. Two high-quality teams who have been excellent this season, playing free-flowing, attacking football, taking risks. Do you know what? This isn't the headline fixture. It's the highline fixture of the weekend with Aston Villa and Tottenham, with how these teams are so stubborn, let's say. Yeah, you can, in one way you can stay stubborn, but another one, say, valiant and brave to their philosophy, their styles in having that high line, letting opposition have chances, but also a lot of them are caught offside. So it's their best way of managing defence and attack at the same time, pressing high, pressing the opposition. Also can play with a little bit of a mid-block. I think Aston Villa are very good in that sort of mid-block where they still maintain a high line, but they're happy to not just always gung-ho and press you, whereas Tottenham are a bit more, I'm going to press you. I want to have so much of the ball in possession in your half, and especially in your final third, where we get our best creative players involved. And it's so good because we've got top forwards and strikers involved in this game, with Ollie Watkins, Heung-min Son in amongst the goals and the assists. Creative players, Leon Bailey, James Maddison, midfield engines with your likes of Yves Bissouma, Pape Sarr for Spurs, in Douglas Luiz and John McGinn for Aston Villa. And then you've got strong defenders out there, and front-footed defenders, of course, with Christian Romero, if Diego Carlos starts, if Matty Cash starts in there, and top performance defenders as well, who have been quite elegant and pleasing on the eye, with your Pau Torreses, Konzas, with your Mickey van der Vens, and of course the shot stoppers who have been brilliant for their club and country of late in Vicario and Martinez. This is a real fixture and a real top four clash, as both teams are looking for that top four right now. With the table looking so interesting, Aston Villa 5 points ahead of Tottenham, but Tottenham do have a game in hand. But what's most important, guys, points on the table. And if Tottenham were able to win this game, they'd cut that down to 2 and have the opportunity to go above them if they win that game in hand. Whereas Aston Villa could extend their gap to 8 points. And that would, even if Tottenham win their game in hand, they'll just cut it back down to 5. But that makes it so interesting. And the injury news for both teams is, of course, we got no Boubacar Kamara, who's out for the remainder of the season for Aston Villa. But Jacob Ramsey is to be assessed after he missed the Ajax game, which was an interesting game, I thought, by the way. Villa, far from their best, let way too many opportunities. I mean, no. They didn't let too many opportunities. They were just very passive in that game. You can kind of see that they knew that this is a two-legged tie away from home. It's just about staying in it. And yeah, you can also see that they had one eye on this Tottenham game with the substitutions they made, such as Pau Torres. He came off at half-time. There was a bit of angst and a bit of worry. Is that because of injury? But no, it was pre-planned. Unai Emery said we only planned to have him for 45 minutes because he missed the Luton game last weekend due to injury. So I think what with Pau Torres and what we have seen for a large portion of the second half of the season now is if Aston Villa manage that injury, which we've seen plenty of players and teams do. I know we've done it as well ourselves earlier on in the season, and we've still done it to now, like with the likes of Jorginho at Arsenal, and that just happens, and that happens with one or two players in clubs, and Pau Torres has been one of them. For Tottenham Hotspur, Pedro Porro is a massive plus. He's available for selection. So those fancy Premier League guys out there, if you're thinking I need a Spurs player and I want to get someone who's going to get me high points, if you don't already have Son, you should be looking at Pedro Porro. He gets good attacking returns, but don't listen to me. I'm not the greatest at FPL anymore. You need to listen to Bungle. He's great at it. But Richarlison, however, is out with a knee issue, as well as Solomon Forster and Sessegnon. But those are key bits of injury news. Jacob Ramsey's a big plus, playing out on that left-hand side. And Unai Emery rates him highly and does start him in a lot of big games, and he adds a goal threat from midfield. He's a bit like Aaron Ramsey, not his twin brother, but the former Welshman in Aaron Ramsey. He played for Arsenal and Cardiff and Juventus, and in scoring a goal, coming from those wide positions, making those late runs into the box, and likes to get in and amongst the goals. Pau Torres, he's their key passer. He's the one who gets the most touches of the ball. He makes the most passes. I think at one stage, I'm not sure now because he's missed a lot of games due to injury, but he made the most passes from a defender in the Premier League. That's how much they facilitate their play through him, Aston Villa. And then you can also say the same for Pedro Porro. He took on a lot of that creative burden whilst James Maddison was out with an injury. And even whilst James Maddison was there fit and available, Pedro Porro was a great supportman and supportman in providing a lot of creativity and chances for Tottenham, for the likes of Son, for the likes of Richarlison, Brennan Johnson, and of late and Timo Werner. So this game is really an interesting one. I think it's going to be a goal fest, by the way, guys. And my prediction is I've gone for an Aston Villa 2. Arsenal fans, turn away, close your eyes, close your ears. I've gone for Tottenham 3. The reason I've gone for a Tottenham win is I just think that Thursday, Sunday factor, I can't shake it off. Is this something? I just feel like it's going to be a hindrance for them. I know they've had one eye on it and they've tried to manage them as much as possible. But I just think that Aston Villa would need to be at their best, at their brilliant best defensively, to still keep out Tottenham, who are very good going forward. Tottenham struggle a lot more playing up against a low block side, a team that's happy to sit back with players in their back line, counter-attack against them. Not to say that Villa won't counter-attack against them. Villa are very good at doing that in the transition. But I just think that Spurs will have the likes of Son being able to attack that back line. I remember watching this game early in the season. The Aston Villa did win, and Tottenham had plenty of chances and should have scored more than they did in the end. And I just think that they'll be able to do that if they're able to get Son into those dangerous areas. Probably the best finisher we've seen in the Premier League in a long while. One of the best finishers we've ever seen in the Premier League. I think that's fair to say in Heung-min Son. Left foot, right foot, no angle bias. He can score from anywhere, Heung-min Son. So I think that's going to be a key factor, and it's going to be difficult for Villa to handle, especially with James Maddison there, fit and available. And they're missing a few players in that, could be missing a few players in that midfield. No Kamara, and potentially no Ramsey, and maybe and Torres. Yeah, I'm sure Torres will be available, fit and available, but missing that sort of defensive stalwart in the middle, it breaks up play and would allow Villa to get on the transition. I think that's going to be a huge loss for them. So I've gone for a Tottenham win by 3 goals to do. I think it's going to be a goal fest. We have got a cracking set of Sunday fixtures in the Premier League, and I've only just gone through 3 fixtures for an hour. So, I've waffled a lot, guys. I'm going to try and get through the others a lot quicker. But I just thought, because we've had so many enticing fixtures this weekend, it's only right to give them a little bit longer than we usually would. But let's see what you're saying, guys and girls, in the chat. I'm just going to have a sip of water, but then see your thoughts. So, big up to yourself, guys, and everyone that's joined in. And make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so already, as we're discussing all the fixtures this weekend. We spoke about Liverpool versus Man City. We spoke about Arsenal versus Brentford. We're just about to hear your thoughts about Aston Villa versus Tottenham, and we've got plenty more to go. Man United fans, we still got to speak about yours. Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Brighton, West Ham, we still got plenty. But let's get into your thoughts on the Aston Villa Tottenham one. So, Paxton has also gone for a goal fest, but he's gone for a 3-3 draw. I'd absolutely love that. If both Man City and Liverpool draw and Villa and Tottenham do, dreamland. I know. And Arsenal win, of course. I'm living in dreamland. Casey's also gone for a draw in this one too. He's gone for a 2-2 draw. I can't repeat that last part there for obvious reasons. Big up to yourself, my brother, realist in the place. And he says big up to you guys in the chat here too. Love to see you here, bro. Hope you've been keeping well and had a fantastic week. 3-2 Tottenham. Son to get a hat-trick, says Shay. Me and Shay agreeing with a lot of each other. I don't know, is that a good thing? Well, Shay's had a great start to the month, so maybe I should be agreeing with him more in the month of March. 2-1 Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz with 2 goals. I like that prediction there, Red Devil. I do indeed. Mr. 200, here's his suggestions. Tom, FK, Harry, DG, any of these would be good. Or Wilf. Need to see Paxton on too. That would be great if we could get Paxton on here. That would be. He does say you'll be waiting a very long time though, Mr. 200. Diaby hat-trick, I can only dream. Absolutely not. You can get out of here for that. If you know, guys, you know. Basically, bet Havertz. I've got a bet on Havertz scoring more than Diaby. And it's working so far. 8-6 to Havertz. Casey says, Tereak, high line, pressing, low blocks, midfield engines, front-footed defenders, and shot stoppers. Tereak is a tactical genius. Thanks, Casey. Thanks. Whenever I see a compliment, I'm not sure if it's going to follow with something else, because that's just how we are. I appreciate that, Casey. Thank you for that. Aston Villa 3, Spuds 1. Ooh, says Mr. 200. I hope if there is a winner, I hope you're right. I mean that. Yeah, because I want Villa in the top 4. Of course, I don't want Tottenham in there. Even though Ange Postecoglou says that the top 4 is no Willy Wonka ticket or something like that. He's just moving crazy now. 3-1 Tottenham, says Shay's changed it to a 3-1. Pau Torres. See, you'd have got me confused then. Pau Torres and Pedro Porro. Big up to yourself, my brother Daz. Hope you're keeping good and well. Nice to see you in here. Judas, either way, T. I know. Trust me. 3-2. He's changed it back. 3-2 Tottenham. But of course, you've still got to enter your predictions in the comment section. Bungle has gone for 2-1 Aston Villa. Get back in your box, you N17 pretenders. I do like that there, Bungle. I do indeed. Breaking news early today about knockdown Old Trafford and rebuilt. Oh, okay, I think I saw this about Lord Cohen fact. We'll talk more about that when we get to United. Big up to yourself, Yannick, for that. Madison, I forgot about him. Philip Bidwell, big up to yourself, Phil. Hope you're keeping good and well. Says 2-1 to the Villa. What team do you support, Philip? Let me know indeed. Casey says, I was in San Sebastian last week watching Real Sociedad lose 2-1 to Kylian Mbappe and said he's quick, lightning fast, frightening to watch. Hey, it's a great place to go to watch football in San Sebastian in the Basque region of España. But yeah, good. Nice to see that there. And Phil is a Liverpool fan. I love that. Love that indeed. Yeah, don't forget, Phil, if you want to enter the Predictions League, and those to anyone else who's watching, leave your predictions in the comment section at the end of the stream. Appreciate you locking in here. Smash that like button. Listen to Yannick as well, people. Make sure you do smash that like button. Like, I love that bit of admin there from our mods. Love that. Now let's go, guys, into the next games. We're going to have to rattle through these because I'm a little bit pressed for time, as you could probably see earlier in the stream. Yeah, I've got a lads' night with my nephew, so that's important. Chelsea versus Newcastle. This is the Monday night fixture, and this is the big one. A big one, I'd say, from Mauricio Pochettino. Nothing big in terms of the Premier League and what it's going to do for both sides, because both sides are quite cut adrift from the top 4 places right now. Let me have a look at the table and make sure that is I thought, yeah, Newcastle in 8th place with 40 points, 10 points behind Tottenham, 15 points behind Aston Villa, and Chelsea in 11th place, 4 points difference between these two. So I mean, if Chelsea want to even get into a top 7 position where they want to qualify for Europe, I guess this is a big game for them and the one that they need to win. However, the news surrounding Chelsea at the moment with their losses, potential losses, 90 million before tax, crazy. And then Clear Lake, the owners, losing over 600 million pounds. It is nuts at the moment at Chelsea, and who couldn't foresee that? Of course, a lot of us could see that with the signings that they made and the fact that they haven't been a success and they've not kicked Chelsea on. You could even argue that they've regressed them. So yeah, Chelsea not over that 40 point mark yet, but I think that this game, it is going to be an interesting one Monday night because both teams are injury ravaged. I mean, Newcastle have been injury ravaged throughout a big portion of the season. They are looking a little bit better on that front, whereas Chelsea have just gone a little bit worse because Chilwell and Colwill are out with injuries. Conor Gallagher is a doubt because he's also been suffering with an illness, and it's crazy at the moment. I know a lot of people are out there who are getting sick, and I hope that you guys are keeping well. And if you have suffered from it, I hope that you are getting better and that you won't suffer for long. But yeah, a lot of people have been getting sick, and I've seen a lot of players out through illness, and that tends to, there's periods where it's kind of like that, and Conor Gallagher is out, as well as Conor Gallagher is a doubt, but Carney Chukwuemeka, Reece James, Benoit Balaishile, and Christopher Nkunku are out. For Newcastle, though, Kieran Trippier is out with a calf injury. Lewis Hall is ineligible to face his parent club, whilst Callum Wilson, Nick Pope, and Joe Linton remain long-term absentees. That does mean, though, however, Alexander Isak and Joe Willock are going to be available for Newcastle, so they will have something of a threat going forward, at least, which is good for now. It's better. And you know, when you look at Kieran Trippier and his form of late, it makes me think, has he been struggling with a calf injury for a while? It's kind of like, and the best way to say it is that if you're an Arsenal fan and you watch Zinchenko and Partey, Zinchenko and Partey are real prime candidate suspects for this. Not candidates, suspects. They have awful, when they're playing bad, it's usually it follows a period being out, and it's like, and I always wonder, was you playing with that injury whilst playing, that's caused you to play this bad? And now that you've played bad, Arteta's gone, yeah, mate, yeah, let's stop this. I need you to recover, because they seem to hit periods of poor form when they play poorly. They are soon after taken out of that team, And I think that's been the case with Zinchenko, and I think that could possibly be the case with Kieran Trippier, especially with calf injuries, guys, because calf injuries are, again, awkward injuries that are very hard to treat, very hard to recover from. And you can't, with it being muscular, you can play with it. You can, if it's not as bad as you think, you can play with it and carry on, but it can affect your performance still. And the fine margins at the top level make the biggest difference. So maybe that's a big part of the reason why we've seen Kieran Trippier struggle in his form. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, maybe it's just coincidental. But what we can say is both sides have been massively underperforming this season. And I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as interesting or as tactically intriguing as the Liverpool Man City, as the Aston Villa Tottenham one. But I think it's going to be a cagey affair. And I've gone for a Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1. This is the Monday night kickoff. This one is, so if you are in the UK and you'll be watching Monday night football, this is going to be the game that that'll be on TV as they analyse what happened in the Liverpool Man City game. But let me know your thoughts, guys, in the chat and how you think Chelsea versus Newcastle is going to go. Let's have a look. So Paxton says 2-1 Chelsea against Newcastle. Could go either way. Who knows? I think it is as well. That's probably why I've sat on the fence, Pax. Because I could, if you said 2-1 Newcastle, I'll be like, I could totally see that happening. But could also see Chelsea winning by 2-1. Casey's gone for a 1-1 draw. Cole Palmer and Isak with the goals. Mr. 200, again, doesn't shock me. It's a very valid prediction, and I could easily see this happening in Chelsea 1, Newcastle 3. Shay's gone for also a Newcastle win with a 2-1 Newcastle win. Tereak, we should set up a charity, all donations to Stamford Bridge. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't do that, though, because... Sorry, it's my Arsenal bias coming in. I don't mind seeing Chelsea suffer. As long as they don't go liquidated, because I don't want that to happen to any club. But yeah, they can suffer like this because they enjoyed our suffering. Phil also goes for a 1-1 draw, agreeing with me. Great minds think alike, they say. What? Hey, yo, Shay. Tuchel is linked back to Chelsea. Could this game get Pochettino sacked? Oh, that's a great question, Yannick. If it ends in defeat and it's quite humiliating, yeah, I think it could. I think he could get sacked after this game. In fact, yeah, I'm going to say that. I think Pochettino could get sacked after this game. This could be his final game if it ends really bad. But yeah, 3-1, anything like 2-0, anything like that, yeah, I think it could end really bad. If it ended 4-1 Newcastle, I'm even more confident. I am indeed. You're cruel, Mr. Sufferer. Chelsea would only waste that donation anyway, Phil. Indeed. Casey's replied back to you. Yeah, Chelsea would only waste it. They'd only spend it on another 12-year-old. That's why. Pochettino for United, says Casey. Yeah, could be in the running. I wouldn't knock him for that. Especially when you've seen the names within that shortlist for Manchester United. And I think that's a great segue to speak about again, Manchester United, the team that are at Old Trafford. As Red Devil Yannick broke the news, put it into the chat with the news that broke earlier about Old Trafford getting a potential rebuild and modernised, which is, again, a big plus from Ineos and something that's needed to happen for a long time. When Man United fans talk about how poorly the club is run and the conditions at the club, they speak about Old Trafford a lot, and that's an example that they use in terms of the stadium needing a lot of work and the Glazers not being willing to work on that because of the costs that it will take to get it rebuilt. Ineos are looking to do so, and there has been news about potential candidates if Erik ten Hag gets sacked, that they've got their shortlist of managers. And the fact that this news is getting out there, for me, it says that it is just basically a matter of time before Eric Ten Hag is given his P45. And I think that is going to be in the long term. Ineos, I don't think he's not going to be. Eric Ten Hag's not going to be the manager coming in to start next season. I don't think he's going to be the manager at the start of pre-season, to be honest. I mean, any well-run club shouldn't have a manager that they're looking to get rid of, but and be there at pre-season. Chelsea did that. I remember they did with Conte, got rid of him, got Sarri in. But Chelsea aren't really a club that you want to follow nowadays. But Man United host Everton at the 12:30. This is the first kickoff of the weekend. And I think, it is, again, interesting for the reasons. Man United, could this be the last game of Eric Ten Hag if he goes and loses this game? Who knows? I think it's less likely that he would get sacked if they lost this game than Mauricio Pochettino. Because I think Ineos will just want to keep him in there until the end of the season at least and not have to worry about trying to get something sorted as quickly as they're still in the FA Cup as well. But with Everton, they suffered a big defeat last weekend against West Ham, and they could still yet have another points deduction as well as them and Nottingham Forest as well. But let me just give you some team news before I go into the predictions. As you can quite tell, I need to speed this up now. Marcus Rashford and Johnny Evans are both available after being substituted just because they picked up injuries. But the youngster Amari Forson is absent. Rasmus Højlund, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire will miss this game, but they could all return for the Liverpool game next week, which would be massive boosts. And congratulations, I've got to say it, because it's the Premier League. We talk about Premier League clubs and do a Premier League preview show, of course, hence the title. But congratulations, Rasmus Højlund. Don't think it was deserved, but I thought he was definitely the only one, if Saka wasn't going to win it, who deserved it. I don't think he deserved it because of Saka's form in February, but Man United fans are going to be happy, and so is Rasmus Højlund. And Kobbie Mainoo got goal of the month. I'll give him that after that goal he scored against Wolverhampton Wanderers. That was well deserved because that's a last minute winner in such a wonderful fashion. But with Everton though, Sean Dyche says that Idrissa Gueye is unlikely to return from a groin injury for this match. He's not likely to make it, so most likely will not. But he didn't completely rule out the midfielder. However, this game comes too soon for Arnaut Danjuma, whilst Dele Alli is also sidelined. So, no, Idrissa Gueye in the midfield, but James Garner's been doing really well with Amadou Onana in spells. James Garner had a big contribution for the goal for Beto, who missed the penalty, which was great for Areola. Got me penalty save points in that game last weekend. But I've gone for a United win, guys. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I've gone for a Man United 1-0 win. I don't think it's going to be a massive a goal fest or anything like that. I just think it's two teams that are struggling at this moment in time, that aren't in great form, both teams, and I just think, that Man United are going to take the win here and win by 1-0. Let's see what you guys have said in the chat for this one here. Paxton's gone for a 9-0 Manchester United win. Shay has also gone for a 3-0 Manchester United win. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I've just unplugged my charger. That's the issue. And that's a bit better. But Shay has gone for a 3-0 Man United win. You're right. Give Chelsea nothing. They'll only waste like $1 billion. A jammy 3-2 win for United, says Phil. I agree with you. I think it will be kind of jammy. I remember this fixture at the start of the season, Phil. At the beginning of the season, well, the first half, shall we say, it wasn't quite the start, but Garnacho scored that wonderful goal, probably goal of the season. However, Everton had plenty of chances in that game, and that's kind of worried Man United fans since, given, I know they won it 3-0, whatnot, but they were a bit like, this is an awful performance, and we can't be taking much pride in that. The name they're thinking about is New Trafford. Absolutely sickening, in my personal opinion. I don't care what anyone else thinks. Paxton's not happy about that at all. He's quite passionate about it. What's your thoughts on it, guys? We're about 3 seasons behind everyone. Stadium rebuild. You're having a laugh. Team rebuild first, says Casey. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe to get this man to 800 subscribers. Really appreciate you there for that, Shay. And you know what, Shay? Where are you in the chat? Let's go, mate. Let's go and add that. Standard. Yeah. There we go, Shay. Appreciate you for that there. Man United 2, Everton 1, says Mr. 200. Rasmus with 3. Yannick, I keep saying Rasmus. Yannick says 3-1 United, Rashford with a hat-trick. And he's talking about Rasmus Højlund there, my player of the month. Absolutely not. 1-0 United, says KC. As a neutral, seeing Everton fight and keep getting results here and there is deserving that they stay up. But as a rival, I want to see them get relegated. It would be funny. Hey, they could be. They could do. Nottingham Forest, Luton will have a big say in that, of course. And Brentford, I guess. Brentford will be there too. But if Everton pick up a win and Forest do, Brentford are right. And Luton, of course, they're in trouble. Brentford will be. Shay says 1-0 to Manchester United here too. Oh, we're having great minds think alike here. Shay, well, you went from 3-0, changed it to 1. But hey, Shay, you've still got plenty of time, of course, my friend. Rashford with a great goal versus City. Hey, by the way, sorry. Man United, even though how poor you've been, you've scored some ridiculous goals this season. And it's kind of mad like that you've done that. And it kind of shows the quality that these players have, the individual quality that they do have. But it also goes to show you, again, like, why can't you do the, like, why you can do the ridiculous, but can't you do the simpler things more consistently? That's what Man United fans will be begging and just be asking for. Like, just, you can pull out the outrageous. Don't do that. Yeah, love that. Keep doing it, but do the simple things on a more consistent basis. But yeah, that's Man United Everton game. Now let's rattle through these a bit quicker. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because Crystal Palace versus Luton is a huge game, especially down there towards the bottom. Luton in 18th place in the relegation zone with 20 points, and there is 8 points difference between them and Crystal Palace. And I would say anyway, at this point in the season, because we were going to enter 10 games left after this. If Crystal Palace can get a win, get themselves to 31 and have an 11 points gap between them and Luton, they are safe. Just simply because I can't see Luton and the other teams just making up that points difference. Especially Luton, because they're in there to get above 31 points, and Crystal Palace would have to lose every single game going into every single game going into that as well. So if Crystal Palace win this game, it's a huge one for the Eagles, for them to cement their position in the Premier League and kick on and look forward to a bright future with Oliver Glasner and really try and get that rebuild underway. Will it be Dougie Freedman or not? Who knows? Because Dougie Freedman is linked with the Man United job there too, as being a potential sporting director or someone head of recruitment or something like that. But with Luton Town, it is I've spoke about it being a big fixture for Palace. It is a massive fixture for the Hatters as they are looking to increase their chances of Premier League survival. For Crystal Palace team news, Eberechi Eze is set to play for longer than 65 minutes he had in the field last time out as he continues his return from injury. So Eberechi Eze is likely to start and he's likely to get more minutes and probably complete closer to the full game than he did against Tottenham. Brazilian teenager Mateus França is out with a groin problem, whilst Jeffrey Schlupp is also sidelined. For Luton, Amari Bell is out again with a hamstring issue, while Joe Johnson has glandular fever. I've had that. Awful that is, and that can knock you about for a while. I know Lewis Miley had it at the beginning of the season as well. Defender Gabriel Osho could feature after a muscle problem, whilst Heath Chong has shaken off a knock. So that's two positives, Gabriel Osho. So you talk about one defender out, another one coming in. big plus that could be for Luton. As they're looking at this, and Heath Chong, who scored last weekend, he'll want to continue that good form and try and help his side stay in the Premier League, and they'll need to do that by grabbing some points in this one here. Ideally a win, but at least a draw. But I don't think that the Hatters are going to get that, in fact. And I think the Crystal Palace are going to be safe, and they're going to take a 2-1 victory at home. I just saw positive signs in that game against Burnley the other day, and I thought that would be a big plus and something to build from. I know that they lost against Tottenham in their last game, but even that, you got to take positives as a Crystal Palace fan. Individual errors in stupid moments costing you that game, and if not, you could have at least walked away with a point at the very least if you guys just stay concentrated. But when you give teams of that quality chances and and like that and present them, yeah, you're always going to lose in the Premier League. So yeah, totally understand. Casey's gone for Crystal Palace 1, Luton 1. Paxton's gone for a 3-2 Crystal Palace win. Shay's gone for a 1-1 draw here too. As an Arsenal fan, I'd love it to be New Trafford. Only kidding. It would be an absolute joke. Exactly. You can't do that. It is a joke. It does sound like a bit of a joke. It's like you're trying to be funny rather than, what matters to the history of the Manchester United, Newton Heath Football Club. So yeah, I know Newton, and they're not that now, but you know what I mean. Shay says change it from into a 2-2 draw, but of course you've got plenty of time. Palace riding the new manager bounce a little, but Luton have shown up at points throughout the season. They have done indeed. It tends to be at home. But I know but yeah, away from home is a bit more difficult. It's a 6-pointer, but there won't be a winner. Phil's gone for a 1-1 draw. It is a 6-pointer indeed. And yeah, I guess that'll be a decent result for both teams, really. Well, more of a better result for Luton, given the fact they're away from home. Yannick says he's gone for a 2-1 Luton win. Chong with a last-minute goal. That would be huge for Luton, and it'd be a big blow for Crystal Palace and a blow for the others in and around them as well. Futures are bright. Futures orange. Luton. Who's going to be the man of the match in this game? I think Eberici SA. Fantastic footballer. Excellent skill. And if he goes to Tottenham, I'd be gutted. Devastated, because I do like him that much. Crystal Palace 3-1 against Luton, says Mr. 200, and Shay's also gone for a Palace 2-1 win there too. The history books would be rewritten if you were in charge of United. In terms of what positive, I hope you mean that. The next one, Brighton versus Nottingham Forest. Brighton got absolutely smacked yesterday up against a great resurgent Roma team, but they got a European humbling. Let's just say 4-0 Roma beat them by, and Brighton have struggled a lot this season, especially with conceding a lot of goals. De Zerbi losing too many key players through the sales in the summer window, through injury a lot of the time. Brighton will be without Billy Gilmore, who's serving his final game of his 3-match suspension. Forward João Pedro, who has an hamstring injury, is among on the Seagulls injury list as well. So 2 key players being out for Brighton. It doesn't make it any better, especially off of that short turnaround Thursday, Sunday. It's difficult again. Nottingham Forest, Willy Bolly and Chris Wood are back in training and could feature for the Forest, as well as, but midfielder Nicolas Dominguez came off with a minor complaint against Liverpool, but he will be assessed, so he could be involved as well. So Brighton not looking good on the injury front, whereas Forest are picking up some players back, as they've had an extensive injury list, to be honest, ever since they came into the Premier League. I guess that's what happens when you have so many players. You can have them out and rested if you need to. But yeah, my prediction for this game, I have still gone for a Brighton win. I've gone for a Brighton 2-1 win against Nottingham Forest in this game here. Let me know your thoughts on this one here in the chat, guys. I'm just going to speed up as well, going through these people. So if you don't mind, I'm sure, yeah, I won't read all of them out. But Brighton 0-0, says Paxton against Forest. But Brighton 1-0, says Casey, and Brighton 2-1 win, says Shay. Didn't still make more saves in that game and still got slapped 4-0. De Zerbi got scored. De Zerbi got destroyed by De Rossi. I saw that on Twitter. It's not my joke. Phil says 2-1 Brighton win. So people still think Brighton are going to nick it, apart from Paxton, who thinks it's going to be a draw. I also think Brighton are going to nick it too, but it wouldn't surprise me if Nottingham Forest ended up going and taking the spoils in this one. The next game here is the Claret and Blue derby as West Ham United host Burnley Football Club. And yeah, this one, we know the fortunes of Burnley. They lost after their probably one of their best performances of the season against AFC Bournemouth, but Bournemouth went and took the 2-0 win there. Just shows the naivety we've seen with this Burnley team, not taking their chances, not defending in the key moments, hence why they are sitting in 19th position, level on points with Sheffield United in this game here. West Ham will need to assess left back Emerson, who was withdrawn because of an injury in the defeat against Freiburg. Short turnaround. It's going to be difficult to see him being available for that one there. It definitely needs to start. Nerfa Gerd is also a doubt after missing Thursday's game with an unspecified issue, and Maxwell Cornet remains out with a hamstring problem for West Ham. For Burnley, Josh Brownhill returns following a one-game ban after he got his red card against Crystal Palace. However, Aaron Ramsey, Nathan Redmond, Lyle Foster and Luca Cogliosho are long-term absentees, whilst Jordan Bayer is not yet back in contention. So for me, again, West Ham, comfortable 2-0 win. And even if, when I say comfortable, Burnley could still be the better team. I've seen them in plenty of games be the better team in terms of being pretty on the eye, fluid, going forward, creating plenty of chances, but they just don't take those chances in the right moment, and they're not strong enough defensively to stop stupid goals getting conceded, whether it's from free kicks, individual errors, or lapses in concentration. West Ham just always seem to find a way, and they thrive off of that. That's what David Moyes' sides do. Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio, Lucas Paquetá is now, all these players are back available. I just think that West Ham are just going to have too much streetwise know-how to get themselves through this, and too much quality essentially in the end. And Paxton's gone for a 4-2 West Ham win. Hammers, says Casey. 3-1 West Ham win, says Phil. 3-1 West Ham win, says Shay. 4-2 West Ham win, Kudus man of the match, says Red Devil. And I like that. I like your little man of the match added that you put in there as well, bro. You can keep it in. Company will really be the yo-yo manager if he keeps this up. Yeah, absolutely. He will be. But he's done a fantastic job with this Burnley team. They play good football. Was brilliant with them in last season with the breaking a record amount of points, I believe, or not breaking the record, but being one of the best teams. But yes, a really young side that's been built there, and I think it's mainly been built to come back up again, Paxed. So they don't really have to spend too much money when they do return back in the Premier League. And if they do decide to sell, they can make big profits because of the age of the players and whatnot. But Mr. 200 agrees in my scoreline and has gone for a 2-0 West Ham win. Next game now, and this is we've got 3 games left to go. Bournemouth at home to Sheffield United. I feel like any game against Sheffield United is a bit of a foregone conclusion, but just in case you guys need any support with your fantasy Premier League, I have got the team news here for you with this one here. Sheffield United Mason Holgate is serving his final game of the 3-match suspension after a horrific red card against Brighton. Forward Ben Brereton Diaz could feature after returning from a hamstring injury as an unused substitute last week, where Bournemouth defender Marcos Senesi has been ruled out until after the international break with a hamstring injury. That's a big loss for the Cherries, by the way. Top goal scorer Dominic Solanke hasn't trained fully this week, so will be assessed before the game. Just like how we did last week, he still looks like he's managing that injury. What we spoke about earlier. Tyler Adams played for the development team in midweek as he steps up his recovery from hamstring surgery. Doesn't mean he'll be likely to feature in this one here. But head coach Andoni Iraola says the USA international, who has played just once since last March, won't be rushed back. So we most likely won't even see him after the international break straight away. They'll take their time on that. But I've gone for Bournemouth win, 3-1 win, even without Dominic Solanke being at his top best at the moment. I just can't see Sheffield United stop leaking the goals at the moment, but I can see them going and nicking one because they have looked better away from home than they do at home, which is kind of weird to say because they've conceded so many goals at home. You'd think that being a poor side, you look worse away from home, but no, they've actually done all right. Aston Villa got a draw. They got a draw against Aston Villa, and it was only a last-minute equaliser that stopped them winning the game. Shay's gone for a 3-0 Bournemouth. Bournemouth and 9-0 Sheffield United. T, you know I don't praise Bournemouth like that, but it's practically a free win. Exactly. That's what was crazy to see the 9-0. Not the 9-0, but a 9-0 Bournemouth win. They suffered a 9-0 last season, didn't they? Against Liverpool. Yannick says 5-0 Bournemouth, hoping for Billing to be the star for the Dane. Oh, hoping Billing to start for the Danish national team. I hear you. Danish national team. Look, you got some decent players, man. I think the Scandinavian teams are looking crazy good at the moment. Yeah. But I think Denmark, they obviously made the semi-finals of the Euros. Only lost to England in extra time, wasn't it? So, who knows, man? They were riding a little bit off of that Christian Eriksen kind of emotional story, but they're still a very good team. Still got quality players. 3-0 Bournemouth, says Philip Bidwell as well. Remember to put your prediction in the comment section when the stream ends. Thank you for reminding the people, Shay. Really do appreciate that there. Good moderators we got today in the chat. Big up to yourself. Or actually, we always have good mods. Penultimate game. Again, just going to rattle through this one quickly. Apologies, Wolves or Fulham fans. But Wolverhampton Wanderers at home against Fulham. I think this is a difficult game to predict. There is 3 points that separates these two sides. Very inconsistent, both sides are. Wolves were poor against Newcastle last weekend. However, Fulham were brilliant against Brighton. I have gone for, in the Adama Traore derby, Wolves won, Fulham won. And I think Adama Traore is going to score that as well. He scored against Brighton last weekend and had a big contribution coming off the bench against Man United. But yeah, I think that Wolves are going to score and Fulham are going to score. Neto versus Adama, speedsters of the Premier League. Let's see what you're saying in the chat. Wolves 1, Fulham 0. Fulham 1, Wolves 0, says Shay. 2-0 Fulham, 3-1 Fulham. The oil-up derby, indeed, for Adama. He loves that. And a 1-1 draw. So we've got 1 Wolves win, 3 Fulham wins in here, and a draw. And 2 draws, including mine, with Shay here too. So the final game that we've got here is Bournemouth at home to Luton. This is a double game week, guys. Remember that this game was in fact abandoned due to Tom Lockyer's collapse due to a cardiac arrest. So this was the rearranged fixture. So it's a double game week, guys. So make sure you do remember this when you are putting your predictions in the comment section to put Bournemouth versus Luton and your prediction in that one there. I have gone for a draw in this one. I think this is going to be tighter than what Bournemouth had against Sheffield United because Luton are a better team. They're more resilient. And I don't think Bournemouth are in their best of form at the moment, even though they did beat Burnley. And you know, that's crazy. In the last 3 Premier League games, Bournemouth would have played the whole the relegation 3. So that's big for them, actually. This could be the last game, and the next 2 could be huge for them in driving them even more clear of the likes of Luton. I forgot who had a game in hand. So if they win against Palace or grab a draw, that's a big plus because they need to win one of these games, Luton do, but I don't think they will. Let's see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat. Phil's gone for a 2-2 draw. 2-2 draw as well, says Yannick. 2-2 draw as well, says Shay. Everyone's gone for a 2-2 draw. Oh my days. Apart from me, but everyone's gone for a draw in this one here. That's funny, man. 4 2-2 draws, you know. But guys, that is the last prediction that we have right here. But I will show you the Premier League predictions table. This was it last week, and there has been a change. I do believe it. Shay, you've climbed up the table. You had a fantastic week, Shay. You picked up 9 points. And yes, I forgot, guys, to add a slide for the Premier League Predictor of the Month update for March, but I can give you the Premier League Predictor of the Month in February. And congratulations to Mange. Big up to yourself, Mange. Again, his third Premier League Predictor of the month, and he is top of the league. It was inevitable that he is going to win a couple at least, but that was his third one. But it was a closely fought race between Mange and Moss, but Moss had a good run at it. And Paxton in third place, and Daz, big up to yourself, Daz, if you're still here watching. You had a brilliant week, by the way. Not this week for March's Predictor of the Month, but the week before you had 10 points and you got one correct score. And not many people got correct scores. I got a correct score, Mr. 200 got a correct score, and Daz did as well. But Daz got the most in the week before last. And last weekend, for the Predictor of the Month, because I don't have it right now, I can give you it. I can read it out to you, but I can't show it you because I forgot to add the slide in. So, who's currently top of Predictor of the Month for March? You guessed it. It is Mange. He's got 12 points with 2 correct scores. Moss, however, is in second with 11 points and 2 correct scores as well. So 1 point between them. And then finally, in third place is Shay. Shay, you're in third place with 9 points and 3 correct scores. As you said it earlier on, you did get 3 correct scores. And that's what's put you in here, because that, of course, you get 3 points for a correct score. And you only got the ones that you got right, they were correct scores. So congratulations, Shay. So we've got Mange with 12, Moss with 11, Shay with 9. And in fourth place, we've got Mr. 200. And in fifth place, we've got Pax. So Mr. 200, you have 8 points for March. And Pax, you have 4. So Mange, 12, Moss, 11, Shay, 9, Mr. 200, 8, and Pax with 4. Guys, enter your predictions in the chat for the Predictor of the Month. Not in the chat, sorry. In the comment section. And you can be within a chance of winning Predictor of the Month. Big up to yourself, Bungle. Big up to everyone as well who's recently entered the predictions of the month. It's been great, guys. I really do love the interaction we have within this community. And I've made a promise to myself, and I'm going to make a promise to you guys right now. Look at you in the eyes in the camera. We will get more content starting from this weekend, in fact. I'm going to be reintroducing the reaction show. So I'm going to react to the Arsenal versus Brentford game. Would you guys be interested in seeing a reaction to Liverpool versus Manchester City? I could do that from an Arsenal fan's perspective. I could do it from a neutrals fan. I could even do it from both. But I'd like to get your thoughts in there in the chat for their people too. More and more promises. I know exactly, and I've got to do it, and I've got to hold. And you're holding me to it, Pax, just like you are with the Discord. I'm trying to revive the Discord. I'm going to revive the Discord too within this week. I've got some time planned to do so, and I've put some time aside to really invest in that Discord for the next week, not for the weekend, but yeah, 'cause Mother's Day, you know that. And I'm going to be doing this. And listen, even CM's in here saying, yes, indeed. Guys, I was speaking to CM earlier, actually, on the phone. Big up to yourself, CM. And we was kind of having this conversation that we both need to do it ourselves. But I've thrown you in there with me, CM. I'm throwing you in here with me. I know, are you like, hey, bro? Hey. No, we both need to do it for sure. We definitely need to get more consistent. And because I love doing it, and I know you do as well, and I know how much you would love doing your content. And go check it out. CM's YouTube channel, you can check it through there. But his Twitch, the production, everything is top class. You won't see much better out there. Especially, I'm saying this, forget budgets, forget all of that. You won't see much better production and quality content that CM puts out there. And it's even crazier, guys, because we know how the budgets and the teams that people have. CM does it by himself. A bit like me now, I do it by myself, but I wish I could get to that level of quality. But what we both need to do is get more content on a consistent basis and grow the community that we've built, because we've got fantastic people in here, and I can hands down say you guys are amazing. I love each and every one of you, and it's not, I don't say that lightly. I really don't, because seeing you in here, having the good vibes, good energy, we always continue to have it. We have banter with each other. You banter me, and it's just amazing. And every time I do a stream, it makes my day, and I love it. And I wish I did it more often. It's my fault. It's me. I can't say anything else. It's me. It's nothing. It's I can't use excuses. It's just me. So, guys. Emotional waffle. Yeah, I'm light skinned, man. Of course I gotta get emotional. So I definitely need to continue doing this and continue growing the community, and so that we can communicate with each other a bit more often, and even kind of get to know each other a bit more as well. You guys know some of you might know my favorite foods, but some of you might not, because you weren't here from the very beginning, and that's just how it is. Whenever you do come here, you're a part of the TTF. TTF, what does that stand for? Some of you might even not know what that stands for. Tereak Talks Family. So you are a TTF members, people. We love each other. I love the community that we got here, man. And yeah, let's just keep it going. And yeah, Shay says, yes, we can talk about food. Indeed we can. We're both in this. Thank you, brother. And likewise, absolutely, my bro. Anytime, man, anytime. And don't be late for the Arsenal game. Hey, look, you see, Shay, look what you've started now, and I love it. And I'm not saying look what you started in a bad thing. I'm saying in a good way, in terms of keeping me on track. Got Shay doing it as well. Come on, people. Hey, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. Wrap up the emotional waffle before I start crying, before I get tears. But people, love for you spending time with me here on your Friday evenings, or Friday mornings, or Saturday mornings, shall I say. Big up to yourself, Bungo. Everyone else in the building. Let me just give a shout out now to you right now, because I'm in my emotional bag. Yeah. So big up to yourself, Yannick, in this place. Big up to yourself, CM, Paxton, Daz in here, Mr. 200, Philip Bidwell. Do you prefer me calling you Phil? I know I should really ask first before I start giving out nicknames. Casey was in the building here too. Who else? I feel like I gotta shout everyone out now. I already said your name, Shay, didn't I? Shay, I hope I did. But blessing to yourself as well, my brother Shay. Bongo, I mentioned you here too. I don't want to miss anyone out. Realist, he came in here, popped in, said dropped his love to you guys, and liked. And I know he listens to the channel as well. He listens. I'm one of them people who listen. And yeah, and don't always engage in communities and chats, but I like to listen, and I know Realist does that too. Ends, my brother in the building, loved that as well. Love the appreciation that you've shown there too, guys. Really appreciate you all. I'm gonna wrap it up now. You guys enjoy the rest of your Friday evening, Saturday morning, Friday afternoon, yeah, whenever you're watching it, people. Love to you all. We are out. And guys, we'll be back again tomorrow for the Arsenal Brentford reaction. So take care, my people. God bless, and we'll be back soon.